Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is multiplication with models. Now, multiplication with models is actually quite simple. But before we start, we're going to look at this. And I need you to understand that this whole column right here is 1/10. Okay? Because that is 1 out of 10 columns. So if I was to count, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 columns. Okay? So it's the same as a base 10 flat. There is 100 little squares in this picture. Okay? 100 little squares in just this one picture. So when I shade or color in one column, that is the same as saying 1/10. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 100. Okay? So 1/10 or 10 hundredths. Okay, so each column. Now, it doesn't matter if I do it this way or this way, because this way is also 1/10, because that's one complete row. There are 10 squares in this row here. Okay, so each one of these columns is a tenth or a rod. Okay, so we're going to look at multiplying these. So I want to say, let's multiply 4/10 times 3/10. And we're going to use this model to find the answer. So I'm going to start by 4/10. I'm going to shade in 4/10. So vertically, I'm going to shade in 4 columns. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. That's 4/10. Okay, in multiplication of decimals using the models, you have to have a vertical, which is up and down, and horizontal, which is side to side. So I'm going to shade 3/10 horizontally. So, and it doesn't matter as long as the 3 lines are together. So I'm going to shade in 1, 2/10, 3/10, completely shaded. Okay? Now, I have 4/10 vertically. I have 3/10 horizontally. Now, the important part is the answer or the product, and that is where they overlap. So all of this that changed colors when I put the yellow and the purple together, that is your overlap. Anywhere your vertical and your horizontal overlap is your answer. So we can count it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which makes sense because 4 times 3 is 12. But this is not just 12. 12 cannot be my answer because that's not a hole. That's not 12 holes. It's 12 out of the whole thing, which is 100. So it's 12 hundredths. So I have to put the decimal in the front to make this number 12 hundredths. Okay? All right, let's do another one. Let's do 5/10 times 6/10. So I'm going to shade in 5 columns, which is my vertical. One, two, three, four, one more. Okay, so there's 5 columns. So my vertical is 5/10. Now I'm going to do the horizontal. And I'm going to shade in 6/10. Okay, so there's 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I shaded in 6. Notice I didn't start at the top and do 6 across. I didn't start at the bottom and do 6 across. It does not matter as long as my 6/10 are all in the same location. Okay, so they're all together. Now, but what you can see, and I'm going to outline it in the screen again, is the part where they overlap, where the yellow and the purple overlap is this funny looking color here. It's kind of a brownish color. So I'm going to outline it in this green. Okay, so where they overlap is all of those squares that I just boxed in green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 across. So I'm going to skip count by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And that makes sense because 5 times 6 is 30. But it cannot be a whole number. I have to have my decimal. When you're multiplying a decimal times a decimal, you will have a decimal in your answer. So there are 30, but 30 out of 100. So it's 30 hundredths. Or 3/10. Because isn't 1/10 10 squares? So 3 of these would be 30, right? 10, 20, 30. So I have 30 squares here. That's 30 hundredths or 3/10. Okay? So basically what you need to make sure that you're understanding is that 1, you're going to shade one factor vertically, which is up and down. 2, you're going to shade the other factor horizontally, side to side. And 3, that the place where they overlap is your answer, which is the product. Okay? If you have a way to make this in your journal, perfect. If not, try to draw it the best you can. But you need to have this part. Shade one factor vertically, shade the other factor horizontally, and then the place where they overlap is your answer. When you look at this on a worksheet, it may look like where it's not shaded, it may just have a different design or pattern to it. That is your indication that that's where they overlap. On the assignment that I gave you, or that I'm giving you, use the drawing tool to best you can. I know it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. But use the drawing tool to see if you can shade in your vertical and your horizontal and try to answer. I'm not taking a grade on that paper. I just want to see that you attempted and tried it because I need to know that you understand the concept, okay? So use the drawing tool through TeacherMade at the best you can to try and draw it, okay?